Good evening. You're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Tropical storm Luban continues its movement towards the coast of the Governorate of Dhofar and the Yemen Republic. His Excellency, the Minister of Commerce and Industry, affirms an increase in the contribution of gas activities in the gross domestic product. And the Research Council announces the opening of nomination for participation in the meeting of Lindor Nobel Laureate for Physics. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from His Excellency Imran Khan, Prime Minister of Pakistan, in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on him being sworn in as new Prime Minister. The latest weather charts and satellite imageries of the National Multi-Hazard and Early Warning Center show that the center of the tropical storm Luban is in the Arabian Sea at latitude 14.1 degrees north and longitude 59.1 degrees east, with a surface wind speed ranging between 119 and 137 kilometers per hour. The center of the storm is around 600 kilometers away from Salalah city. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation said that the tropical storm Luban continues to move west-northwest direction towards the coast of the Governorate of Dhofar and the Yemen Republic, with chances of it become a Category 2 cyclone within the next 48 hours. The latest weather prediction charts show the possibility of indirect impacts of the storm on the governorates of Dhofar and Worcester starting from today, with isolated rains and rising sea waves with maximum heights between 3 and 4 meters. The charts also show the possibility of direct impact of the storm on the governorate of Dhofar and Worcester will start on Saturday, with isolated rains and high seas with maximum wave height between 6 and 8 meters. The National Multi-Hazard and Early Warning Center keeps monitoring all the updates of Luban. It calls on everyone to take caution and not to risk crossing flowing waters and move away from low-lying area. It also advises all to follow its latest weather bulletins and reports. Civil Defense Subcommittee in the Governorate of Dhofar held an extraordinary meeting to discuss the developments of the weather condition Luban. It discussed the latest preparations to deal with the possible effects of the Category 1 cyclone Luban, which is heading towards the coast of both the governorates of Dhofar and Al-Wusta. It also got acquainted with the latest predictions related to the cause of Luban and the accompanying impacts. It's worth mentioning that the center of Luban is 600 kilometers far from Dhofar coast. The members of the committee reviewed the preparedness level and precautionary measures to be taken to minimize the impact of the weather condition. The meeting was chaired by Major General Hamad bin Sulaiman Al-Hatmi, Assistant Inspector General of Police and Customs for Operations and Commando Police Formations. The Sultan's Armed Forces stressed on their readiness to deal with the tropical storm Luban, as the main and sub-military committees for emergency cases management emphasized on providing all the necessary support for the residents and citizens of this dear country. The meetings of the committee in the governorates of Dhofar and Worcester focused on the efforts exerted by the units and formations of the Sultan's Armed Forces to deal with the possible impacts of the weather condition according to the plans and procedures. The Directorate General of Education in the Governorate of Dhofar announced that it suspends studies in all the schools in the Governorate starting tomorrow, Thursday. This decision came due to the weather condition in Luban and in coordination with the Civil Defense subcommittees in the Governorate. The Directorate General is keen to ensure the safety of the students and those working in the educational field and turns into schools into the rescue shelters for citizens during the adverse weather condition. His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harib Al Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, received His Excellency Yu Fulong, Ambassador of China, to accredit to the Sultanate to bid him farewell at the end of his tour of duty. During the meeting, the ambassador expressed his thanks for the support he received during his mission in the Sultanate, which contributed in making his task successful. From his side, His Excellency the Minister responsible for Defense Affairs expressed his utmost thanks to the ambassador for the efforts he exerted to serve the good relations between the Sultanate and China, wishing him success in his future assignments. The Air Force, participating in Shmukh-2 and Safe Syria exercises, has undertaken the completion of its military operations at its operation scene as part of the general plan of the events of the national exercise. This comes to complete the deployments of various military divisions, which has taken its position in the field. It also came to develop the training and tactical skills and capabilities of the personnel of Royal Air Force of Oman. The Air Force, participating in the two exercises, undertakes many pivotal roles, including providing air support for other participating military divisions on the ground. Major General Mathar bin Salim al-Blushi, commander of the Royal Army of Oman, paid a field visit to the Aerial and Naval Forces commands of Al-Shmukh-2 and Safer Syria 3 exercises. The visit came within the framework to get acquainted with the preparations for the upcoming stage of operations, as well as to ensure the accomplishment of tasks according to the general plans of the exercises. During the visit, he was briefed on the duties and tasks of both the commands and the military procedures that will be taken during the progress of events. He also followed up the distribution of weapons and equipment in both the commands. In order to enhance its experience in strategic planning at the national level, the Supreme Council for Planning is participating in Shmukh-2 and Safe Syria 3 exercises as part of the joint work. The participation came to develop its capabilities in facing presumptive crises. It also aims to provide the personnel of the Council necessary skills in damages assessment and reconstruction after crisis. Meanwhile, the Minister of Environment and Climate Affairs is participating in the two exercises to test the capabilities of the Ministry's personnel in combating any threat that may occur against Oman environment and ensure the safety of Oman environment. The fourth edition of the annual conference of Oman Society for Human Resources Management, OSHRM, was opened today at Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. The opening ceremony was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Taimur bin Asad bin Tariq Al Said, Assistant Secretary General for Communications at the Research Council. More details on that by Saleh bin Khalfan Rahbi.
The fourth industrial revolution, future skills, money and business effects, and human resources leaders were the most prominent themes of the fourth edition of the annual conference of Oman Society for Human Resources Management, OSHRM, that took place in Muscat under the theme Tomorrow is Now. Are you ready?
The topics it is tackling in this event is really important for our country, for our economy, and also for our organizations. Why is that? Because of the fast change in the global technology and also environmentally. I think it is a chance for our country, for our organization to take a head step to be adopted for this change around the global.
The objectives of this conference is basically to bring the expertise on the HR to come and share their knowledge, and from there we take this knowledge and we'll try to transfer it to our human resources and try to use the information that we receive from this conference and to see which one is going to help us as an HR.
The conference witnessed the participation of more than 400 specialists and 140 speakers from various public and private institutions from both inside and outside the Sultanate to discuss the future of human resources and modern technologies affecting the sector, as well as ways to overcome the challenges and difficulties facing human resources.
It's a first-class, world-class level conference in terms of speaker, in terms of the facilities, and in terms of the quantity and the quality of the participation. The subject is the most intriguing one because it talks about tomorrow is now. And it asked a very important question, are we ready now? This subject intrigued me to come to this place and to take part in this conversation because it's the most prominent question now. Everybody's talking about the fourth generation and the fourth generation of technology and the fourth revolution, and that we have no choice but to be ready. And the conference like this is the right place to talk about this new development.
On the sideline of the conference, 7 workshops were held, focusing on technical systems and human skills development, in addition to addressing technology and its impact on human resources and its concepts. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Salih bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud As-Sunaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry, affirmed that the activities in the field of gas recorded an increase by 100% in the Sultanate's gross domestic product GDP during the first quarter of the current year. That came when he delivered a lecture at Sultan Qaboos University on the direction of Oman economy. The Minister of Commerce and Industry stated that there's no intention of introducing the value-added tax at the present time. During the lecture, he also revealed that the Sultanate's GDP recorded an increase of 6.5% in the first quarter of this year. He as well added that manufacturing industries recorded an increase by 17% in the first period of 2018, whilst the mining sector recorded a growth rate of 15% during the same period. The petrochemical industries recorded an increase by 14%, whilst agriculture and fisheries wealth sector also recorded an increase of 7.6% during the first quarter of this year. His Excellency the Minister stated that the contribution of oil activities to the national economy reached around 30%. Still to come on News Bulletin. My Comfortable Bag project is implemented at a school in the Wilayat of Samail. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Reviewing the references conditions of the 8 actuarial study and assessing pension programs and benefits were topics discussed at the 3rd meeting of the Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Social Insurance. The general budget for the authority was approved during the meeting for 2019. The board also discussed proposals forwarded to it with regard to dealing with the conditions of some national manpower categories which are covered with insurance coverage by the authority. It also expressed its delight for the winning of the Sultanate represented by the authority with 6 recognition certificates in the International Association for Social Insurance for best practices. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Abdullah bin Nasser al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Social Insurance. The Research Council announced the opening of the nomination for participation of the 69th meeting of Lindau Nobel laureates. Allocated this year for physics sciences, the Council determined the condition of participation. The applicant should have a real interest in research and sciences and should be specialized in physics or related fields. Should not be more than 35 years old, has never participated in the previous meetings of Lindau. The meeting is scheduled to be held on the 5th of July 2019 in the German city of Lindau. The 7th International Conference of Omani-British Relations concluded its three-day conference under the auspices of His Excellency Mohammed bin Salim Al Tobi, Minister of Environment and Climate Affairs. More details on the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
The 3 days conference on Oman-British relations concluded its sessions today after a huge volume of research papers presented by researchers from many different parts of the world. The participants of the conference have expressed their thanks and gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said for his generous and contribution to scientific research at the local and international levels, and to the heritage, culture, history and civilization, and his continued support for its advancement and preservation. The researchers examined the historical, political, economic and cultural implications of these relations held during the 17th and mid-20th century that have clearly demonstrated special relations between Oman and Britain. One of the most important factors that increased the depth of Omani-British relations was the strategic geographical location of Oman. Oman's geographical location contributed to the development of maritime trade and other areas between this part of the region and many other countries of the world. The relations at the beginning stage was marked by balance and parity in the commercial and economic aspects until the 19th century, which witnessed some changes on the movement of economic activities due to the development of European competition. At the conclusion ceremony held this afternoon, speeches were presented praising the conference achievement. At the same time, the recommendations were announced, some of which to establish an information bank of Omani-British relations and other countries in cooperation with the role of the international archives and the competent scientific bodies in those countries. Emphasize the importance of cooperation between universities, centers and scientific institutions in the Sultanate of Oman, Britain and the world, and increase cultural exchange between them. Continuing to hold more international conferences aimed at exchanging experiences between the Sultanate and other countries. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Ministry of Education held a ceremony to mark World Psychological Health Day, which falls on the 10th of October every year. The Ministry's celebration of this day came under the theme, Enjoy Your Life. The Ministry, through this occasion, seeks to raise awareness among society members about the importance of mental awareness, as people with good psychological health can perform their job effectively. The celebration comes to affirm on the necessity of psychological health in developing individuals' capacities and productivities, which reflects on developing an educational work environment. The psychological health represents in the individual's ability in thinking positively, controlling negative emotions and coping up with life pressure. My Comfortable Bag, an interesting project implemented at Al Ghubayra School for Basic Education in the Wilaya of Samail in Dakhiliya Governorate, where around 900 students carry school bags by hand with maximum 10% of the students' weight. Our reporter Saleh bin Khafar Rahbi has more details on that.
The student Jabir Al-Jabri and his colleagues do not suffer anymore from the weight of the school bag like previous days, after implementing the project My Comfortable Bag at Al-Ghubayra School for Basic Education in the Wilaya of Samail in Al-Dakhiliya Governorate.
The ideas of projects come as a result of the observation of the negative impacts of heavy bags, which made us looking for an alternative included for the comfortable bag. Comfortable bag is safe and comfortable for students.
This is a very helpful project. It helps the students to take only 2 to 3 books only to their home rather than 5 to 6 books. I think it is very helpful because students can focusing on studying 2 to 3 books rather than, as I told you, 5 to 6. Also, they have a time to enjoying at their home.
As students enter the classroom, it is noticed that the scene has totally changed from carrying the school bag on the back to carrying it by hand, containing only 2 to 3 books, which constitute 10% of the students' weight.
My school is thinking about me. No more headaches because of too much homeworks. I am happy now. Thank you, my teachers. Thank you, my school. In this file, I don't take all the books, 2 or 3 books.
The project does not only target the health, educational, and psychological aspects of the students, but it also teaches them some principles like protecting their school items, especially that they keep most of these tools at school. After implementing this project at Al-Ghubayra School for Basic Education, a number of schools around the Sultanate have started introducing this lightweight project for the safety and health of the school students. My Comfortable Bag will surely revolutionize the problem of carrying excessive weights of school bags, allowing students to study at ease, whether in school or at their homes. From the Wilaya of Samail, Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhiliya Governorate.
Now for the general focus around the Sultanate, clear skies will prevail over the most of the governorates with chances of high and moderate clouds over the coast of the Arabian Sea and scattered rainfall. Winds will be south-easterly to south light to moderate and seas will be slight to the maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. Watching the Sultan of Oman television before winter night's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Tropical storm Luban continues its movement towards the coast of the Governorate of Dhofar and the Yemen Republic. His Excellency in the midst of commerce industry affirms an increase in the contribution of gas activities in the gross domestic product. And the Research Council announces the opening of nomination for participation in the meeting of Lindor Nobel Laureate for Physics. And with that, we come to the end of Nigeria's Bulletin from all of us here in the newsroom and the studios. Thanks for watching. Good night.